Sorry about that. I cut that last one off at a weird place, but example number 4. So we're going to translate this into an equation, but we first have to define our unknowns. We have to do this part. And I'm looking for the keywords here. It says product 2 consecutive even integers, at least for the first part. There's a lot going on in this one. So we have 2 of them though, 2 numbers that we're multiplying because it says product. So number 1 and number 2. Call the first one n, and then it says they're consecutive even. So that's like 2, 4, 6, 8. Consecutive evens are 2 apart. So if the first one is n, the second one is n plus 2. All right, now I have to translate. And remember, you have to go left to right. So it says the product of 2 consecutive even integers. Well, these are the 2 integers. We want their product. That is the product of 2 consecutive even integers. Is the next thing I read. Equals 5 less than. Remember, less than, you have to put it out here. 5 less than twice their sum. Twice. Now, sum is an indication that I might need a parenthesis. Twice their sum. Well, what is they? Who is the they? This is the they, the 2 integers. Well, what is their sum? N plus 2, which is 2n plus 2. So twice their sum, and it's 5 less than that. Notice I translated from left to right. I just didn't read it all and start just putting random stuff in different places. Okay, so you have to show. The other thing is you can leave it like this. You don't have to simplify it, and don't multiply out the left side. When at the product part, leave it. Okay, so we've got those 2 pieces that we're looking for. Now I'm thinking of problems that might give you some trouble or that people generally have questions on. And one of them would be something like this. The greater of 2 odd integers is 6 less than twice the smaller. Wait a minute. I'm gonna change this. The greater of 2 consecutive odd integers is, let's make this, because I don't want to do the exact same. I was looking in the book, I don't want to do the exact same one. Is 5 less than twice the smaller. Okay, so it's very close. Well, keywords. We're talking about 2 consecutive odd integers. And of course we've got greater, we've got other keywords, but those are the 2 that are gonna get me started. So there's 2 of them, number 1 and number 2. Always make the first one n. And it says there are 2 consecutive odd integers. Now odd integers, remember, are like 1, 3, 5. Those are 2 apart. Now 2 is not an odd number, but 2 is just how far apart they are. So notice that odd and even, they're both n plus 2, n plus 4, right? It doesn't matter that odd numbers are different than even numbers. This part looks very similar. So we've got their names. Now let's translate. The greater of 2 consecutive odd integers. Well, here they are. There's the 2 integers. Which one is greater? Well, this guy, right? The second one is greater than this one. So the greater, I'm I'm going to write n plus 2. That is the greater of two consecutive odd integers. Is the next word. Equals 5 less than minus 5. Less than comes after. Twice the smaller. Twice, now what's the smaller? Well, there's a greater one and a smaller one. There they are, those are the two numbers. The smaller one is the n. Twice the smaller. I just put this a little too far out. So this is the answer. I'll just write it a little better. N plus 2 equals 2n minus 5. So you would have to show me this part and this. Okay, one more. Let's do example 6. Product. Let's do sum again. So the sum of 3 consecutive even integers is 20 more than let's see, 3 times their sum. That sounds very confusing. These all sound confusing. They're really not too bad. Okay, let's figure out the keywords to get us started. So there's 3 of them this time, and they're even. So instead of having number 1 and number 2, I've got 1, 2, 3. You might even have 4 of them in some problems. Whether they're even or odd, always make the first one n. Now, these are even, so they're 2 apart, just like odd are also 2 apart. N plus 2, n plus 4, right? Each one is 2 more than the one before it. Those are their names. Now let's translate. The sum of the 3 consecutive even integers. That means their sum. N plus 2 plus n plus 4. 1, 2, 3. That means there's 3 n's plus 4 plus 2 is 6. 3n plus 6. Next word is equals 20 more than 20 plus 3 times their sum. 3 times there's that sum again. All right, I'm going to anticipate needing a parenthesis. Their sum, that means I have to add these guys to. Is 20 more than 3 times their sum? Okay, this sounds really wacky, but let's try this. All right, so 3n plus 6, because we already had it on this side. But anyway, 3 times their sum, and that would be the translation. Now, I just made this up, so if you were to solve this, and you don't have to for this, this is probably not going to end up giving you even integer answers. So don't worry about that, but the important thing is being able to translate it and being able to define the unknowns. Don't solve on this particular homework. Alrighty.